Doctors, what is the scariest example of medical negligence you've seen? I once had a patient come in with the worst case of acne I had ever seen in my 10 years as a dermatologist. She had pustules, nodules and cysts covering every inch of her face. On top of that, she had wrinkles and skin discoloration. One dermatologist refused to treat her because they thought her face was too disgusting to look at, and another dermatologist recommended a product meant for dry skin and another for oily skin. And using both, it once damaged her skin barrier. When she went to protest because her skin burned and her acne grew in size, the dermatologist said she was throwing theatrics and had her kicked out. She said coming to me was her final attempt at clearing her skin, and I was determined to actually help her. For one, I had to determine her skin type. Since a lot of people don't know their skin type, I always tell my patients that they can do a couple things to find out. One way is to hook your pointer finger and lightly run it across your lower cheek and down to your jawline. If you hear a noise and feel a bumpy texture where you don't have acne, then you have dry skin. Another way is to drag your finger down your nose, and if it's greasy, you have oily skin. Once you figure that out, you have to get the fundamentals down by knowing how to properly clean and protect your skin. For my patients, I tend to recommend meditation, using lukewarm water to wash their face in the shower, and applying sunscreen before I even think about any formulation. This is because acne is often caused by stress, so meditating every day will easily release all the negative energy from our body. Most girls take scorching hot showers, which leads to dry skin, so it's best to use lukewarm water. And sunscreen is meant to protect every single skin type and will clear the skin from acne by protecting it from UV rays and decreasing the chances of breakouts when you go outside. This is very common among young people, and it's a shame because just applying sunscreen could clear most people's skin. So I told her that in order to see a change in her appearance, she would have to do these things every day, including applying sunscreen, not just on sunny days because UV rays still penetrate windows and clouds, so her skin is always at risk of being damaged and breaking out. She said she'll take my advice and ask me what sunscreen she needed. I told her it had to be one without harsh chemicals in it because brands like Neutrogena and L'Oreal have octinoxate and oxybenzone. Octinoxate boosts cell growth when exposed to estrogen, which risks the development of breast cancer. Oxybenzone triggers allergies and disrupts hormone functions, leading to reproductive problems. That's why I recommended her a growth factor sunscreen by Sunray, because it doesn't have any harmful chemicals, and its gel-like texture feels great on the skin. 9 out of 10 times when I recommend the Sunray sunscreen to my patients, they all come back with healthier looking skin because their acne scars clear away and their skin looks prettier and glowy as they are protecting their skin while also rejuvenating its feel. My patient almost freaked out when she saw the price though, but then I explained that people spend thousands on clothes, makeup, and equipment to make their bodies look good. She confronted me angrily, accusing me of being inconsiderate and ignoring her. I suggested we sit down and discuss the issue calmly. She expressed feeling humiliated, claiming everyone had been staring at her all morning because of my actions. I stood my ground, explaining that while I could handle her joking, calling me her work husband and hugging me extensively in front of colleagues made things uncomfortable. Mary told me to get over myself, insisting I had blown a simple joke out of proportion. She argued that the term work husband was normal, implying she knew me intimately due to our frequent travels together. I interrupted, expressing my discomfort with the term as a married man. I explained that she might not understand being single, but I didn't want anyone describing me as a husband in any context outside my marriage. She claimed I was misinterpreting her words, stating that since she'd known me longer than I'd been married, she knew me more intimately than my wife. She listed examples of our interactions, dining together after work, planning our days over breakfast, my casual attire around her, and our long conversations during road trips. Mary insisted I was the definition of a work husband, just in denial. Angered, I clarified that I considered her a friend and that she was delusional to think she knew me better than my wife. I firmly stated that I didn't want to hear that term again, as it disrespected my marriage. I suggested that if my actions gave her such ideas, perhaps we should reconsider our friendship. Mary then apologized, claiming she didn't intend to disrespect my wife. She expressed a desire to move past the incident and maintain our travel dynamic. When she attempted to hug me again, I stepped back, saying it was okay. That night, I discussed the incident with my wife. She was understandably upset and questioned if Mary had ever flirted with me. I honestly replied that I hadn't noticed any such behavior, attributing Mary's words to alcohol and stubbornness. My wife expressed discomfort about Mary and suggested I create more distance between us, especially while traveling. She even mentioned the possibility of reporting Mary to HR if the behavior persisted. I promised my wife I would limit my interactions with Mary outside of work hours and be more cautious around her in the future.